I will never forget the day I stepped into the Universidad Nacional de las Arts, filled with hope and dreams of pursuing my passion for art. Little did I know, it would turn out to be a nightmare. As I walked through the doors, I was greeted by a sense of confusion and disorganization. It was as if the administrators were trying to make it impossible for students to succeed. I felt like I was in a labyrinth with no clear direction or guidance. The first red flag was the inscription process. It was like they wanted us to fail. They gave us only 2 hours to respond to an email, and to make matters worse, it was sent at 12:33 p.m., a time when most students would be in class or busy with other activities. I received the email during a blackout, and by the time I responded, it was too late. They told me I had missed the deadline, and there was nothing they could do to help me. Can you imagine the frustration and despair I felt? But that was just the beginning. The attention to public inquiries was appalling. They didn't answer phone calls, and when I tried to contact them via email, the responses were curt and unhelpful. It was like they were intentionally trying to mislead us. I felt like I was in a constant state of anxiety, never knowing what to expect or how to navigate the system. And then there were the classes. Oh, the classes, they were a joke. The professors seemed uninterested and unprepared, and the classes were poorly structured. It was like they were just going through the motions, without any concern for our education or well-being. I felt like I was wasting my time and money. But the worst part was the way they treated us. It was like we were nothing more than mere statistics, not human beings with hopes and dreams. They didn't care about our struggles or our successes. They were only interested in the bottom line, in making a profit off our desperation. I am not alone in my experience. I've spoken to countless students who have suffered the same fate. We're all just pawns in their game of power and greed. And the worst part is they don't even try to hide it. They're a brazen and arrogant, thinking they can get away with it. But I won't be silenced. I won't let them get away with this. Ill speak out and ill fight for the rights of students everywhere. We deserve better. We deserve to be treated with dignity and respect. We deserve an education that prepares us for the world, not one that sets us up for failure. So, I ask you, dear Universidad Nacional de las Arts, how can you justify this behavior? How can you sleep at night knowing that you're ruining lives and crushing dreams? You should be ashamed of yourselves. And to my fellow students I say, don't give up. Don't let them break you. We are the future and we deserve better. Let's stand together and demand change. Let's take back our education and our dignity. What do you think, dear listeners? Have you had similar experiences? Share your story.
In the vibrant heart of Buenos Aires, a stone's throw from the esteemed Universidad Nacional de las Arts, lies a tapestry of businesses that, unfortunately, fail to mirror the institution's prestige. As a travel analyst with an eye for detail and a heart that aches for perfection, I find myself compelled to unveil the hidden truths behind the facades of these establishments. With a touch of humor to lighten the load and a sensitivity to the plight of the unsuspecting traveler, I embark on a journey to paint a picture of what one might encounter in this neighborhood. Imagine, if you will, a place where the promise of cultural immersion is overshadowed by the cacophony of dissatisfied whispers. The Abasto de Buenos Aires, once a beacon of commerce, now stands as a testament to neglect, with escalators that seem to ascend only in dreams and a labyrinth of corridors that lead to less than stellar experiences. It's a place where the only thing more crowded than the aisles is the air, with complaints of dirt and disarray. The food court, rather than a symphony of flavors, plays a tune of disappointment, echoing with the refrain of unappetizing offerings. As we wander further into this urban jungle, we stumble upon Omnia Fitness Center, a place where the pursuit of health and wellness is met with the obstacle course of poor customer service, and shockingly, the silent yet insidious presence of toxic black mold. It's a gym that ironically poses a health hazard, where the only thing more difficult to stomach than the mold might be the attitudes of some staff members. The promise of a transformative workout gives way to the reality of overcrowded spaces and a sense of unwelcomeness that lingers like a stubborn stain. In the realm of culinary experiences, Saigon Noodle Bar presents itself as an ambassador of Asian cuisine. Yet, beneath the surface of its enticing menu lies a trap for the unassuming diner. Here, the waters run deep with tales of overpriced dishes and portions so small they seem to vanish before your eyes. The deception is as palpable as the flavors are lackluster, leaving a bitter aftertaste that no amount of soy sauce can remedy. Our journey continues to Latent, a cafe where the art of coffee is muddled by the murkiness of poor service and a disregard for the customer's comfort and satisfaction. The once revered coffee now flows like the river Lethe, washing away the memories of what a true cafe experience should be. The aroma of brewing beans is tainted by the scent of indifference, and the warmth of the beverage is negated by the chill of the atmosphere. The night comes alive at Uniclub, a place where the beat of the music competes with the thudding of hearts racing in fear of pickpockets. The allure of techno beats is overshadowed by the drumbeat of warnings against theft, and the freedom of expression is stifled by a security presence that feels more like a police state than a party. The thrill of the night is marred by the anxiety of potential loss, transforming what should be a haven of enjoyment into a game of chance. Finally, we find ourselves at Vico Wine Bar in Villa Crespo, where the promise of a sophisticated evening is spoiled by the sour notes of poor service and questionable food quality. The elegance of the setting is undermined by the reality of underwhelming dishes and a sense of being judged rather than welcomed. The glasses may be full of wine, but the experience leaves a void that not even the finest vintage can fill. In this neighborhood, the imperfections are as glaring as the midday sun, and the idealist within me yearns for a reality where every experience is as enriching as the educational pursuits of the nearby university. As travelers, we must tread carefully, with eyes wide open and expectations held in check.
For in the shadows of these establishments, there lies a lesson to be learned: not all that glitters is gold. And sometimes, the most valuable commodity is the wisdom to discern the genuine from the facade. So, dear wanderers, let this be your guide through the murky waters of expectation and reality. Arm yourself with knowledge and let your intuition be your compass. In the end, it is not the destinations that define our journeys.
So like I am looking into crimes near Universidad Nacional de las Arts right now, because every tourist who comes here for 2 weeks gets chewed up, you know. And I feel so tired about it. The little shops around that art school, they look cute on the outside, pastel paint and chalk menus, but inside they are just hungry. They treat every foreign face like an open wallet that forgot to close, and I predict the owners laugh the same laugh when the door shuts and the receipt keeps printing. Here is a story from the ice cream parlor 1 block down from Universidad Nacional de las Arts, the one with the fancy chandeliers. A traveler asked for 2 small cones. The menu outside said 150 pesos. The worker rung up 1,500 pesos instead, tapped the machine before the traveler could even breathe, then turned the screen away so the numbers blurred. The traveler probably paid because the line behind her grew and her Spanish felt too soft. She walked out, cones melting faster than her mood. I predict she checked her bank on the corner, felt her stomach drop into her shoes, then threw the ice cream away because sweetness tastes bitter when you discover you just paid for a fake bill. The shop kept the extra money and probably did the same at dinner time, because the manager high-fives the staff when tourists do not argue. Next, the souvenir stalls beside Universidad Nacional de las Arts. They stack leather wallets and colorful mates. They feel friendly, they say special price, my friend, but they switch price tags when you blink. A guy chose a small brown purse labeled $30. At the till, the attendant swapped the tag with a $300 sticker hidden under the counter. The guy saw the new number, panicked, but the card machine beeped already. I predict he paid because he felt eyes on him, then spent the night counting coins to survive the rest of his trip, while that attendant probably bought drinks with the profit and told friends that tourists are walking ATMs who apologize too much. Last one, the pizza cafe opposite Universidad Nacional de las Arts. Neon sign looks warm, smells like home, right? The waiter hands a tablet for payment, taps contactless, but the amount you see is not what gets charged. Somewhere inside the machine, a second screen adds a phantom zero. A couple tapped without glasses. Later, they saw their account missing $500. I predict their holiday turned into instant noodles and free hostel bread, while the cafe manager pockets the surplus and jokes that art students are not the only ones painting fantasy worlds. He creates them on receipts too, and nobody stops him because tomorrow new tourists arrive and the story just starts again.